I wasn't here either. I forgot all about it. I think it was in the afternoon.
Morning, late afternoon, morning service was free.
The woman is there recently canceled. What's this? I don't understand the sheet of paper she gave us about practice Tuesday night. Is that if we go to the castle on Thursday?
Yeah, no, I think we just need the practice. So
I do too. I don't care about going to the castle. I'd rather rehearse for the.
I mean, I think the show, most of the show tunes and stuff, and then there's a bunch of guests and people. So I don't think that one's going to be a whole lot heavy. But I think what it is, well, I think that's what the Tuesday night is. I think it's a substitution. I've got a membership in River Aug, and I've only played 5 times this year.
It's a membership.
$700. So that makes each round pretty expensive. So you used to play Thursday night league. Thursday night's rehearsal. I used to play Saturday and Sunday morning. No Sunday night. It's I mean it's all about choices. I'm surprised somebody couldn't get to a single. Because, got a little bit dragged out.
Just a cup of coffee.
like in the Boston area. They're not the same, really. This one
I'm afraid in spite of the might of the power of love, but something inside is yearning and emerging to be born. No rejoice in the light and the might of the power of love. And something inside is yearning and emerging, being born. All that stop me will suddenly show where I won't be obliged and I need to let go. But on a good day I remember and I feel the whispers of heaven. On a good day I remember and I feel the whispers of heaven and the power of love. And the power of love. Thank you.
Let us pray. I invite you to take a deep breath, a deep cleansing breath. Let's breathe in the great cosmic breath that permeates all creation. Allow that same breath to permeate you, every cell and tissue of your being, opening you, gentling you, allowing you to be more present to the pulsings of the Spirit in this very room right here, right now. And if there is anything that you have brought with you today that might block your availability to those pulsings, I invite you to release it to the sea of nothingness to be transformed, that you might be right here, right now. This is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. This is the only day we have. This is the only moment we have. The sun is shining. You're with your friends. Let our hearts be expanded. And let us remember the truth of who we are and who we came here to be. And in that remembering, we are transformed. We have the realization of the presence of God as us this day. And so it is. Amen and amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Alex Valente to the stage today. Alex is a Harvard and Oxford graduate. We've worked together for 7 years. He's the new member of my performance company with Paula S.D. Torch. And I'm really thrilled to have him with us today. And we're going to sing One Day at a Time. Start to listen, reach with your hands and hear. Dive into a sea of strangers, find your friends and draw them near. Reach deep and play your heartstrings, sing a song that shatters the air. Before forgetting the words, let the wisdom ease your fear. It's one day at a time, is all we have to live. one moment, a chance to give and take. And when I look out ahead, tomorrow's too far away. I finally got the choice, and now I'm living for today. Don't look over your shoulder, no one knows what you see. Give in to those who guide you, but you alone must lead. And in the world you're creating, it has never been done. There's no more hesitating. See the fire start to run. One day at a time is all we have to live. One moment, a chance to give and take. And when I look out ahead, well, tomorrow's too far away. I finally got the choice, and now I'm living for today. This advice that I give you, it's all I need to hear. 'Cause I'm not any better, I'm exposed by how I care. Oh, and now you know that I need you, and in this I'm not alone. 'Cause when I struggle with my dreams, you reach me with your own. It's one day at a time is all we have to live. One moment, a chance to give and take. And when I look out ahead, tomorrow's too far away. I finally got the choice, and now I'm living for today. It's one day at a time, 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 one day, one day, one day, one day at a time, one day, one day, one day, one day at a time, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day at a time, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day, one day at a time. Whoa, yeah, we're living for one day. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. My choir, my boys in the band, and you. Thank you so much.
You rock, honey. That was awesome. Oh my gosh, this is your day at a time. Okay. All right, deep breath. Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, oneness, and joy. Let's take all of that into our hearts as we say together our mission statement. We are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. In the vision for our world, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And that is the truth. Good morning. And welcome to Unity on the River. I'm Reverend Shipley Allenson, and it is a great day for God, a wonderful day to see you all. Is there anyone celebrating with us for the first time? If you would raise your hands, please, so we can identify you. Anybody celebrating? Yes. Okay, keep those hands up. Yes, wonderful. Yeah. So we have a flower for you, and after the service, if you hold on to that flower, Someone will introduce themselves to you and ask you if you have any questions and take you to the welcome table and give you a CD that tells you more about us. We know that you are here by divine appointment, and we know and affirm that you will receive something that will help you grow and transform, or something you just needed to hear today. So thank you so much for being with us. Bless you. So we have a very special guest with us today, and I'm going to introduce him more formally later, but please join me in giving a warm Unity welcome to Ogun Holder.
Thank you.
Ogun is going to be speaking today. His theme is Better Me, Better Us, and he's going to be speaking on the subject of the Enneagram. How many are familiar with the Enneagram? Yeah. Wonderful, wonderful tool for transformation, for uncovering old hidden beliefs that might be getting in the way, for understanding yourself, and for understanding others, and therefore a blessing for all relationships. Is anybody ready for that? So he's going to be leading also a workshop of the same title from 12 to 2 in the sanctuary, and the cost is $15, and we know that we will be blessed by Ogun in that. Okay, and so I want to remind you, those who are taking Holy Spirit Regeneration on Tuesdays, if you ordered a book, we have the books, and Jane Cowan has the book, so if you would like to see her after the service today, that'd be great. And then, how am I going to do this? I have my toys. Yeah, my microphone. Can I talk in that one? You got it. No, this one. Can I talk in that one so I can use my hands? All right, so it's Adventures in Faith time again. For those of you who haven't been with us too long, we're actually starting September 29th. And this is a 7-week experience where the whole church is studying together and growing and transforming, and it's an adventure in faith. We are going to be using Janet Connor's book, The Lotus and the Lily, which she calls a 30-day soul program. We're doing it in 49 days. You get extra time. You can buy a My Life Passages and a companion journal that goes with it. Janet has wonderful teachings from Jesus and the Buddha. She has profound questions. She has exercises and experiences and practices that will, especially this one. This is why I want it in my hands. This is a soul slinky. We live in a vibrational world, right? So we are going to send our prayers out. You send them either with your left hand, depending which kind of prayers, or with gratitude in your right hand, left for your intentions. And everybody get a slinky so we can play together. And send, can you imagine the vibration of all these soul slinkies going out in the world? So starting next week, we invite people who would like to offer their homes or to facilitate a home study group. So we have 7 weeks, one time a week you would meet as a home study group. This is a great way for people to get to know each other and to deepen their experiences together. So next week you can sign up if you'd offer your house or if you'd like to offer being a facilitator. So we thank you ahead of time for that. Do we have heart opening? Yeah. Yes, that was everything. Okay. So what a beautiful, we get to hear more again in her highest expression. She is going to sing to us now. Wait a minute. We haven't greeted each other. Thank you. Okay. I'm not even doing the talk today. Okay, everybody. This is an opportunity to greet each other in love. We invite you to say, I see you. I see who you really are. I see you. Namaste.
Namaste. Good morning. point.
Okay, deep breath. I invite you to welcome back Maura Lynch and our Unity Music team, and be sure to join in. This is I Am Who I Was Born to Be. All right.
This week, the theme at Unity has been, what has Unity meant to me? And it's meant a lot. It's meant so, so much. And when I found this song, I said, this'll do it, this'll say it. When we come to the chorus, sing along. Don't worry if you know the notes. Just go for it, because the message is really great. This is who I was born to be. When I was a child, I could see the wind in the trees, and I heard a song in the breeze. It was there singing out my name. But I'm not a girl, and I have known the taste of defeat, and I finally grown to believe it will all come around again. Though I may not know the answers, I can finally say I am free. And if the questions let me hear, then I am who I was born to be. And so here am I, open arms and ready to stand. I've got the world in my hands, and I feel like it's my turn to fly. Here we go. Oh, I may not know the answers. Bring it, baby. I can finally say I'm free. And if the questions let me hear, then I was who I was born to be. Alex, take it away. When I was a child, there were flowers that bloomed in the night, unafraid to take in the light, unashamed to face the dark. And if I may not know the answers, I can finally say I'm free. And if the questions let me hear, then I am who I was born to be. I am who I was born to be.
Thank you. I want to invite someone up here, which most of you know, but maybe not all of you, all the way from California, our former music director, Curtis Haynes, would like to say something.
I didn't think I was going to talk, but I whispered to Shipley, because I want to say, I've been crying from the very first note. I couldn't be happier than to hear how awesome this music is. And Mora is just, oh. All right, I'm going to go back and cry some more. All right, it's lovely to be here. Thank you so much for just being so good.
This is more than I can stand. I have, Curtis started with me and has blessed me for many, many years. And now to have Maura here and to have the two of you here. Okay, thank you. And Ken Clark, absolutely, yes. We've been blessed all along. So, our guest today, Ogun Holder. When I was very early in ministry, before I even started my church, I believe I met Eileen Gore, who pioneered a church in Virginia, New World Ministry, just the same year that I pioneered Unity on the River, and so we got to know each other. And all she could talk about was Ogun and Jennifer. They're married, and they used to do the music for Unity Worldwide Ministries. It wasn't for a while that I met Ogun, and I met his beautiful daughter, Joy, who was the delight of Eileen. And so it is so much fun to have him here. You can't get up yet. Just a minute. I have to say more things about this. But I certainly did meet him and recognize that there was something very special, and I am just so excited to have Ogun here. On his blog or his website, I'm not sure, he wrote the following, which I think describes him beautifully. I live in the question as a minister, speaker, teacher, author, blogger, musician, music lover, self-proclaimed geek, and a fan of all things social media. What does it mean to live in the question? It means to never settle, to dig deeper within ourselves, to discover our truth. Only by questioning will we get to the core of who we are. Only by questioning will we be transformed. So Ogun is originally from the Barbados. He came here in 1994 to get a degree in music therapy, but somehow he got sidewise over to Unity. I think Eileen found him. Eileen Gore has, I think she has 4 already ordained ministers that came out of her church and 2 more to go. What is the matter with me? So let's get going, you all. Come on. He is the senior minister and executive director of the nonprofit ministry Unity for All. He currently lives in the Washington, D.C. area. He's written articles for Daily Word, Unity Magazine, Contact Magazine, and he has his own book, Rants to Revelations, Unabashedly Honest Reflections on Life, Spirituality, and the Meaning of God. They are in the bookstore, and I'm sure that he will do a book signing for those. Okay, so please join me. The warm welcome for Ogun Holder. Great to have you.
Good morning. Good morning. Are you happy to be here today?
Yes.
Then turn to your neighbor and say, I'm happy to be here today. Turn to your other neighbor and say, I'm happy you are here, so I'm not here by myself. Because if it was just you and me, it'd be a little awkward, just one of the two of us. Between the music, between the energy, between this guy about to cry, I'm already spent. So just buy my book and go home. We're all done. Thank you so much for having me here today. Me standing here is really the manifestation of about 3 years of people holding this in a vision. You know, I like to say there's no time in God. So 3 years really might seem like a long time between me meeting my friend Rhonda, who was like the first ambassador from your church, and I said, I got to meet the rest of you, to meeting Shipley, who's, you know, buds with my first Unity minister, to meeting Amy, who is like, we're getting you here at all costs. It's like a dream come true. And hopefully by the time I'm done speaking, you won't think it was a nightmare. But just hang in there. Hang in there. This is my first trip to this area, to the New England area. I've always wanted to be here. I'm a diehard Celtics fan. So, and I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I'm not one of those guys who goes to a different city. What's the team? Okay, be sure to mention that. No, I like the Celtics. So it was great to be here. Thanks again to Amy for being such a wonderful host. And thanks to her, yesterday I had my first taste of lobster pie. That's a big old slice of heaven right there. Seriously. But I do love the traveling and the speaking. It feeds my soul. It is what I live for. It is my bliss. So I'm glad that you can help me do that. A couple months ago, I traveled to Unity Village. Anyone's been to Unity Village? Who's been to Unity Village? It's kind of like Unity headquarters. Got to go there. Got to check it out. I was there not only to speak, but to attend the wedding of a good family friend of ours, and it was a beautiful ceremony. And she's a little on the, let's say, how can I put this delicately? She likes things out of the ordinary. So the wedding was originally planned on the golf course, and it was raining, so they couldn't do that. They had to move it inside. My daughter was part of the wedding party, and the only directions she had was to wear fairy wings. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we were in for. So we were there. The wedding was beautiful, and during the reception, you know, their first dance was to that Aerosmith song, Don't Want to Close My Eyes. You know that song? Don't want to close my eyes, don't want to fall asleep, because I'll miss you, dear, and I don't want to miss a thing. And they were gaze lovingly into each other's eyes and dancing to this song. And I was sitting back and just going, that's beautiful. They don't know what they're in for. Because before too long, as those of us who've been in a relationship know all too well, that don't want to close my eyes, before too long it's going to turn into, please just roll over, I want to go to sleep. But I was glad to see them there for that reminder of kind of first love. They reminded me a little bit of this couple up front here. You guys, how long have you guys been together? 6 months. 6 months. All right. Good for you. You will benefit from this talk, because I'm going to give you a lot of heads up about what's coming your way. Okay? I'm going to give you some heads up, so pay attention. One of the things that changes over the course of relationship are the nicknames we have for each other. You know, we start off as all honey, dear, sweetie. Further along the line, if we're really good, we just drop the nickname. Sometimes we pick up some other ones. A little into our relationship, my wife started calling me somebody. She would say things like, you know, somebody ought to take the trash out tonight. It took me a while to figure out that I was somebody. And, you know, there was nothing I could do about it until I came across this story. There were 4 friends. Everybody, somebody, anybody, and nobody. There was an important job to be done, and everybody was asked to do it. Everybody was sure somebody would do it. Anybody could have done it, but nobody did it. Somebody got angry about that because it was everybody's job. Everybody thought anybody could do it, but nobody realized that everybody wouldn't do it. And it ended up that everybody blamed somebody when actually nobody asked anybody. So now when my wife says things like, somebody should load the dishwasher, I said, yes, but anybody can do it. To which our 12-year-old would say, does that make me nobody? Because I don't want to be nobody. Relationships are interesting things. They challenge us in so many ways. And one of the things that we tell ourselves sometimes is that, if the other person were more like me, this would work out better. That's a recipe for disaster. I would not want to date myself. I would end up telling myself things like, hey, the grass should be cut when it gets a certain length, not when you feel inspired to do it. And no matter how tools you own and your good intentions, things are worse off after you fix them. And then we think, if the other person were on the same spiritual path as I was, maybe that would make things better. I am married to a Unity minister. You don't get much more on the spiritual path than being married to a Unity minister. And while that sounds good on paper, let me just tell you, having someone there to remind you and hold you spiritually accountable 24 hours a day, no. We had to get rid of that early on in our relationship. Many of us have this idea that, we come to classes and we come to workshops and we come to Sunday morning church and we learn about these unity principles. If only, we say, we can apply them to our relationships. And I just don't mean, life partners. I don't mean husbands and spouses. I mean every single relationship. Friends, co-workers, employees, employers. We think if we can bring these spiritual practices to the relationships, they'd be all okay. But we know sometimes that doesn't work out. And I think part of the reason it doesn't work out is because we miss an important point. And the important point is relationships themselves are a spiritual practice. Let me say that again. Relationships are a spiritual practice. Say that with me. Relationships are a spiritual practice. In and of themselves, they're a spiritual practice. And here's how they are. Two ways. The first way is that when we're in relationship with someone, anyone, whether we just met them or we've known them in entire lives, and we get somehow they always inevitably do something that will push a button of ours. Now, sometimes they're close to us, we love them, they're our closest friends, they push a button, and maybe we can work through it and get over it and move past it. The relationship stays. Sometimes we don't. Sometimes we may not know them well, and when they push the button, we see the Christ in them, so we're going to love them from a distance, and then we're done with them. But we have deprived ourselves of something very important, which is the opportunity to heal ourselves. Because when they do something and it pushes that button, what that is a red flag. That is a piece of us, who we are, that says, hey, you have neglected me for a long time. I'm ready to be healed. One of the other reasons I was here, I've been teaching a couple of spiritual enrichment and education classes, SEE. And we were doing lessons in truth for the last 2 Saturdays. The first Saturday I taught remotely from my home in the DC area. But yesterday I was here with folks in class. Wonderful experience. And Emily Cady, the author of Lessons in Truth, writes about this idea that there's 2 aspects of us. There's the God expressing as and through us, the individuality of us. And then there's the personality piece of us, the human side of us, if you will, the part of us that learns how to be in this world. And when we encounter someone and there's a conflict, there's a clash, there's a disagreement or something, it's the personality aspects of us. And in unity, we are always told that each and every person has the divine light of God expressing in as them, in their core. That's who they are. We have to remember that. We're the same in that way. This is true, this is wonderful, and guess what? There's a whole lot of personality that comes along with that. And sometimes we don't get along with each other's personalities. Am I right? Yeah. So it's great to say, see the Christ, see the light, see the oneness in others, but we still have to live with them. How do we do this? This is what the relationship, so the relationships, when these buttons get pushed, this is an opportunity to look inside and see what is that needs the healing? What is it that I need to address? Because the truth about relationships is this. It's kind of a paradox. We can only experience the best of relationships when we bring the best of ourselves to the relationship. Okay? But the flip side is we can only learn about the best of ourselves when we are in relationship. Let me say that again. We can only experience the best of a relationship when we bring the best of ourselves to it. But we can only learn about the best of ourselves by being in relationship. So it's kind of a catch-22. When those buttons are pushed, when the part of us that is crying out to be healed is activated, then we have a choice. We can ignore it because it may have been a deep pain, a long time hurt that's been triggered. It may have been abandonment. It may have been rejection. It may have been abuse. It may have been unworthiness. Something is triggered. And we have a choice. We have a choice to let it stay buried deep in the dark, or we have a choice to crack open the windows of our heart and let a little light in. And this is where the Enneagram really comes in useful. Because when that other person that we are in relationship with comes to us, and that button is pushed, and there's some separation, some distance, what happens then is that we have to realize that what they're bringing to us is really a gift. It is a gift they're bringing to us. Often when we disagree with people, it's not because we are disagreeing with whatever the issue is. We're disagreeing about how we see the issue. And the Enneagram tells us that there are 9 ways we can see the world, we perceive the world, that we interact with each other. So I'll give you a perfect example. There are 9 types. I'm a type 9. Type 9s are the peacemakers. We're the ones who can see both sides of the argument and find the middle ground that works for everyone. That is, when we are healthy and have done our personal spiritual work. When we're not, us type 9s, we avoid conflict at all costs. We do not like conflict. And in a misguided effort to keep the peace, what us type 9s do when we are not healthy and we've not done our spiritual work is that we withdraw and just give the other person what they want. And then when we do that, our own needs are not being met and expressed. And eventually we may like a volcano erupt one day. Or we feel less and less worthy of ourselves and we respect ourselves less. I am married to a type 1. Type 1s, in some circles, they're known as the perfectionists. Each of these types have different names according to what theory you study, but the perfectionists, type 1s really just want to make the world a better place. And they think that when they're healthy type 1s, they bring a sense of high standards of excellence, they bring efficiency, they bring a way to get from point A to point B. When they are unhealthy or not in their strength, type 1s come across as my way or the highway. Judging by that chuckle, I guess some of you know 1s are R1s. I won't ask for a show of hands right now. You're welcome. My way or the highway. So, this is why when my wife and I first got together, we felt we were a match made in heaven. She was a my way or the highway, and I was a I don't want conflict, so you get whatever you want. Now, obviously that was not sustainable. because she didn't want to be the one making all the decisions. And I didn't want to just do what somebody else wanted. And eventually, things were starting to look grim because resentment started to build. And resentment, my friends, resentment is like that little channel of water with pebbles that starts at the stream and the surface and eventually gives you the Grand Canyon. That's what resentment does. It wears away the bonds that you've created between each other. When we found and discovered the Enneagram, I do not exaggerate when I say it saved our marriage. Because I had gotten to the point where I was so frustrated with not making my voice heard that I would erupt. And she was so frustrated with feeling the responsibility of having to make all the decisions and choices for family. She was ready to give up. But then we realized that truly the other person was bringing a gift. First, we had to work on ourselves. First, we had to do the better me part. First, we had to look at the style that we were and realize, you know what, there's a strength here that we are not capitalizing on. And then after we could do that, we could allow the other person to help us. So from her, I learned that, you know what, sometimes I do have to get up off the couch and not withdraw and hold myself to a high standard of excellence. The one that she saw for me, she saw a higher standard of excellence for me than I saw for myself. And she learned from me that, you know what, sometimes flexibility is your greatest asset. To give yourself the space to listen to other options, because we can't always come up with the best options ourselves. But the work first began within each one of us. And this is what we're going to do in the workshop this afternoon. We're going to take we don't have a lot of time, so we're just going to take a brief look at each of the styles. And we're also going to see how, from our perspective, we see the rest of the world and how we see others. And here's the thing about the Enneagram that I love. Many of you are familiar with other personality things, like the Myers-Briggs and stuff like that. What the Enneagram tells us is that each of those 9 styles exists within us. We can see the world from each aspect. We tend to gravitate towards one. But when we realize how we can strengthen the others, we become whole beings. We learn to see the world from many different points of view. We learn that when others come into our circle of influence, and we may not right away hit it off, we can say, I see how they're seeing the world, and here's how I'm seeing the world, and here's how we can meet in between. And the relationships just begin to flow gracefully and easily. But it begins with our work inside. Now, fair warning, this is not going to be an overnight success. Okay, it takes work, it takes practice, it takes commitment, it takes a level of consciousness to realize that when we can do this, when we can allow ourselves to get past the personality conflicts and align with the other folk, with the other person, then it becomes that much easier also to align ourselves with that divine essence of who they are. The personality clashes doesn't get in the way of that anymore. But it's a process. I left Barbados in 1994 to pursue, as Shipley said, a degree in music therapy. My parents still live there. Much of my family still lives there. I live here. The reason I live here and not at home is because my parents still live there. And much of my family still lives there. It's a process. But over the years with this work, my relationship and dynamic with my mother, who I affectionately refer to still as my greatest opportunity to practice the presence, has become much better. She has not taken an Enneagram assessment, but I suspect she's also a type 1. Yes, we marry our parents. I swore I wasn't, but then turns out that I did. But this is okay. This is okay. As I reflect back on the years after doing this work on myself and looking at my relationships, I can look back and see how, given what she knew, given the tools that she had, she loved me the best way she knew how. And I could recognize the persistence with which she made me do things like practice the piano or turn off the TV and read a book. Were truly a gift because it was how she saw the world. You got to do it this way. Ultimately, it was a gift for me. Didn't see it then. So we're working on that. But it's okay. I don't mind that we are working on that, and there's that. Other people, especially family members, God love especially family members, are the ones who are our greatest opportunity for learning. Because here's the thing, we can't really run away from them. They're in our lives. And that's okay. When I look to the life of Jesus as my example, he had family issues too, especially with his mother. You know what you're thinking? Really, when did that happen? Let's look at Jesus' first miracle. We commonly accept Jesus' first miracle as at the wedding in Cana when he turned water into wine. I'm going to read the passage for you so you get some context. So from the book of John, chapter 2, we read, "Now on the third day there was a wedding at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and both Jesus and his disciples were also invited to the wedding. When the wine ran out, Jesus' mother said to him, 'They have no wine left.' Jesus replied, 'Woman, why are you saying this to me? My time has not yet come.' His mother told the servants, 'Whatever he tells you, do it.' And as we know, the servants bought jars filled with water. He turned them into wine, and the wedding continued." Now, if Jesus' relationship with his mother was anyway like the relationship with my mother, something went down between "my time has not yet come" and "do what he tells you." Because when you think about it, he's basically saying, you know what, no, it's not my time to start doing miracles and showing my truth. And next thing we know, there's the wine. Here's what I think happened. He said, as we read, "Woman, why are you saying this to me? My time has not yet come." Mary, being the good Jewish mother that she is, did not want to create a scene. So she pulls Jesus aside, pulls him down so that she can whisper into his ear. And she says, "First of all, I am your mother. You do not call me woman." Do not confuse me with the other Mary you run around with. Second of all, what do you mean by your time has not yet come? Sure, when you were a kid, you tried some miracles that didn't work out. The bird you tried to bring back to life, yes, that was a disaster. Start with something simple like this, then work your way up to resurrection. You got this. Mama loves you. Our family members can be the ones who push us into the highest and fullness expression of who we are. Every relationship is an opportunity, especially the ones that we want to avoid, are the ones that help us step into the fullness and the highest expression of who we are. This weekend back in D.C., the celebration of the 50th anniversary of Martin Luther King Jr.'s March on Washington. And we all know the words from that immortal speech that he shared on that day where he said, "I have a dream that one day my children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character." Many times we look at the character of others and we still judge them. We judge them because we have not gotten clear that while we are all the individualized expression of the one power, the one presence we call God, we bring the tapestry and the variety of that greatness. And it is a gift. We may not recognize it at first, but each and every person in our lives is a gift. Don't turn your back on God's gift to you. Namaste.
Okay. I'm a 9. Guess why I'm not in a relationship?
Come to the workshop.
I know.
We'll take care of that. Yeah.
I think, Jane, are you a 1? Where are you? I think she might be. I know. I was going to say, I've got them all over the place. You know what? I want to do something special because I had a request to honor a wedding, a marriage. And I thought it'd be interesting to have Andrea Ames come up and Bob Noga. Is Bob here? He's at work. Oh, okay. Well, come on up and just get blessed anyway. Have you done the Enneagram? Have you done the Enneagram? So you don't have any, you might want to go today, huh? So how long ago were you married? Is it 2 weeks? 3 weeks ago. Oh, well, Andrea, yeah. This is great. And did you meet at Unity?
No, we met at the...
But you've been coming together ever since, so beautiful. All right. Can we just send lots of love and light and send love and light out to Bob? And we just bless this marriage and know that all coming together is for the highest and the best. And when things show up, there are opportunities because we come together as unique and individual expressions. But when we find another who will support and love us into our highest expression, we know we have truly blessed, and we know that Andrea and Bob are that for each other. So bless your journey together. We see you, and we hold you on this journey. Thank you for being part of us. Thank you. All right, so let's take a moment now to be still, to release anything from your lap that might encumber you, and we're going to move into our time of meditation.
Before we start, I'd like you to hold one hand up. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. See if you can feel a tingling there. What if that were divine proof that we are the essence of God? I am, I am, I am, I am. 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 Yeah, join us. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am, I am. I am, I am, I am. I am light, I am light, I am.
So if you still have your hand out, let that energy be felt. Let that energy move towards your core, your I am, the truth of who you are and who you came here to be. Let your heart expand in that knowing, in that remembering of your divine essence. And we know here in unity that our truth is our essence, our divine expression, the Christ within. And it is our intention to live from that Christ place, to realize it, to let it come into full expression as Jesus did, our elder brother and way shower. And so often we have aspects of our personality that get in the way. Or another reflects back to us some aspect of our personality. So I invite you to take a moment to consider one of your closest relationships. Bring them in front of you so that you are standing together. And just perhaps remember one of those times that felt particularly uncomfortable. And bring that to mind. And can you take it to the place of realizing that something is being reflected? Some aspect of yourself that longs to be healed. And can you perhaps give thanks for the gift of the other who has shown you this? Nothing and no one is against us. In fact, everything and everyone is for us. It's all feedback, guiding our highest expression. It is the Spirit of the living God that longs for us to realize our truth. And the universe is orchestrated so that we are continually receiving feedback for our growth and unfoldment, that we might take on the Christ in the image and after the likeness of the Holy One. Let's take a moment now to offer up any thoughts and just allow ourselves to be still in silence. Spirit of the living God is moving in this room today. The whole Spirit of God moving in each of us, cajoling us, calling us up higher. All things are working together for good. Doesn't always seem that way. The work is not easy, but it is good. Oh, it is good. And so at this time, if you would like to hold any others in love and light, I invite you to bring them to mind. Bring them into your heart and bless them by speaking their names together out loud. And we bless and hold in light the prayers that are entrusted to this prayer box. We bless the giver of the prayers and those who receive the prayers. We know that no prayer returns void, but the Spirit responds in right and perfect ways. And so it is. Amen and amen.
I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. Sounding great. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. Yeah, bring it. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am light. I am light, I am light, I am. I am light, I am light, I am. I am love, I am love, I am. I am love, I am love, I am. I am joy, I am joy, I am. I am joy, I am joy, I am. I am joy, I am. Find your part, here we go. I am love, I am love, I am. I am love, I am love, I am. I am light, I am light, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. I am my, I am my, I am my, I am. Thank you.
Thank you, Mara. Yoo-hoo! Let's send a little more love up to Ogan holders. Yoo-hoo! Yeah. So be it. All right, so we are going to be receiving our love offerings and tithes in just a moment, but I'd like to introduce our chaplains. If the chaplains would stand or raise their hands as they are able. Chaplains are totally here for you. They will know the truth for you. They will hold your prayers, whatever it is, in total confidentiality. Be sure to see one of them after the service today. Be blessed. All right, we have a couple more announcements. Bill Freed.
Thank you. Yes, namaste. Bless you. I love you. What a great service. Wow. This is what brought us here. I just want to recognize we had a lot of new visitors today that were given flowers. Thank you for showing up. We love you. We bless you. We invite you to the welcome table after the service. And ushers, since we had so many, if you can just keep your eye on the ones with flowers and help the greeters to welcome them. And then also, those of you that come that may be interested in alternating as greeters, we really would love to have some alternating greeters available. If anyone has an interest in that, please see me or one of the greeters or ushers after the service. And then we also have an interesting situation in the admin part of our church where we're inviting those that have office manager experience that would like to fill in for us during the week, like on the mornings or maybe 1 or 2 days a week. You may have a particular job that gives you some freedom to work somewhere else, like to volunteer your time here at Unity on the River, and we have an opening for that, and we are receiving resumes. If you're interested, please also let me know or let Jane know. And then one other thing, if you're interested in ushering here and would like to serve in that way, it is such a blessing to be able to give of your time. And as you give, so shall you receive is a spiritual law. It can't not work. It always gives you back more than you actually give. So I just invite you all to partake of that at Unity on the River. It is a real blessing to serve here. Thank you.
And Diane Gage, want to come on up and talk about our All-Stars concert? Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to talk to you about the concert. I do want to just witness here for a minute. I went to a wedding last night, 125 people. I knew 123 of them. And I just want to let you know that the AU and BU, which is, before Unity and after Unity experience at a wedding like that last night was really apparent to me. 12 years ago, I would have sat at that table, and my brain and my soul and my heart would have looked out, and I would have had thoughts like, that dress is bad. Those pants are too short. These are not my people. And I would have just gone around the room and observed and felt separate and seen the differences. And last night, 125 people, all I could see was their connectivity to each other and to me. And Unity did that for me. And I was really an expert at the other technique. I was really good at it. And, I always said there isn't anything like a new pair of shoes, and Unity really feels like a new pair of shoes for me, a new way to walk in my life, and I just want to witness that. Okay, so I don't know how many of you remember the first time that you came to a Unity service, but for me it's very poignant, and my experience was OMG equals oh my God, and as it unfolded, I was like, now I know my God is your God, and as the Beatles say, I am you and you are me, and we are all together, cuckoo-cuckoo, and it's a feeling. It's a great feeling. So we've all written checks to organizations to alleviate pain and suffering. We've all written checks to organizations to feed the hungry. And I'm inviting you to bring new faces to the Unity concert, All-Star concert, because Unity is a spiritual currency. It is a spiritual currency and a gift. So you can write those checks and put them in the mail, or you can embrace someone and give them an opportunity to sit here and have the feeling that sustains us, that alleviates our pain and suffering and feeds our souls. And the way we get more intimate here is that this sanctuary become so full that we need to share seats and sit on the cracks in between them to grow our community. So be here September 6th.
Thank you, Diane. You're terrific. So just a reminder, look in your programs for the Eastern Region Worldwide Ministries Conference coming up at the end of September. Jackie Woodside is the Trainer of the Week, Igniting the Flame of Infinite Possibilities, Living the Transcendent Life. It's going to be an amazing week. Also, this is the last week up until next Sunday that you can bring in school supplies for our backpacks over in the children's area. All right. So taking out your offerings and tithes, let's bless them. Let's fill them with light. Let's fill them with all the energy that we have gathered here today that Maura and Ogun have supported, and so have all these other individuals that are part of this team. Oh my God, thank you, Mark, back there, and Brian and Michelle and Frank, and thank you all up here. The music team is phenomenal. Yeah. Thank you, everyone out in hospitality and everybody who's working behind the scenes and everyone in the bookstore. So let's say the blessing of the tithes and offerings together. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Valenti is going to give us an improv now of his own music, and it's delightful. Here we go. That was right off the cuff, ladies and gentlemen, just right out of his beautiful brain, Alex Valenti.
Yes, truly, truly, we are so blessed today. Oh, the Spirit is here, and the Spirit is moving through each and every one. And we know that these offerings are filled with that Spirit as they go out to do the will and the work of Holy Spirit. Thank you. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, David. Wow. It's been wonderful having you here, Alex, and being part of this team. Torch Productions, please welcome them again, Maura Lynch and Paula Esty and Alex Valenti.
Thank you. Torch is our production company, and it was started originally an offshoot of Temple Thieves, which was Curtis and Paula. So it's so great to have you here. And Alex, welcome. This is Torch. And this is the light of love. This is the light of love. Here we go.
this day was rich and golden, and all who were awake to its gifts rejoiced and were glad. Ooh, oh, yeah. We are all family, beloved and true, yes we are. Father, you are the foundation and substance of our compassion. Mother's landscape of our love, yes you are. Sister, be my companion of my heart, yes. Brothers, you be the vehicle of love, yeah. Oh yeah. I see the flame, I'm climbing through the darkness with the light of love. Oh yeah, with the light of love. We are the celestial circle, the wheel of creation, yes we are. We are inseparable. Our love unbreakable, yes it is. Together we embrace the earth's stories of love, yes. Her stories of love, yeah. And I see the flame, I'm climbing through the darkness with the light of truth, yeah. Bring it, people. With the light of truth, yeah. For in knowing each other, we are each known. We're made whole by the heartbeat of love. Yes, we are. Yeah, we are. Synchronized. One to another. Yes, we are. To the world. And to the world we are. Yeah. Synchronized. To the world I say. Take your keys, running out. Fire it up. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, my family. Yes, we are. You're my family. You're my family. Time, space, air. It's no space. Don't know yet. You're my family. Yes, we are. You're my family. This is what I know, yes. I see the flame. I'm climbing through the darkness. I see the flame, I'm climbing with the light of love. In all the space of the cosmos, there is only love. I see the flame, I'm climbing through the darkness. Climb out through the darkness now, yes. I see the flame, I'm climbing with the light of love. I see the flame, I'm climbing through the darkness. I'm climbing. I see the climbing with the light of love. Keep it going. I see the flame, I'm climbing through the darkness. I see the flame, climbing with the light of love. One more time. I see the flame, climbing through the darkness. I see the flame, I'm boys in the band, Keith, Steve, Andy, and my beloved choir who puts up with me. Thank you.
Woo-hoo. Yes. All right, let's welcome in our youth and family ministry.
We are walking as the light of God. 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 We are walking, walking, we are walking. We are walking as the light of God. We are walking, walking, we are walking. Oh, we are walking as the light of God.
Namaste. We had a lot of fun today. We actually continued our lesson on fairies, and we talked about karma and how doing nice things for fairies, like building them fairy houses and giving them things, they bring good karma back to us. So a little lesson on that, and we made our fairy houses and had fun.
Hi, everybody. This is Ogan. He's our special guest today, and he's going to come join me. Would anyone like to help us say the prayer protection? Leah. Okay. Grant, Balin, too. Great. Okay, come on. Let's go back. And let's rise and sing our peace song. Today, let us remember that all our relationships are a blessing, especially the challenging ones.
The light of God surrounds us.
We are the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
We are the love of God.
The power of God protects us.
We are the power of God.
The presence of God watches over us.
We are the presence of God.
And wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And we
are richly blessed.
daily